1 2 1 2 1 2. Right, I think the sound's working. We're just going to do a sound check. Right, hopefully everyone can hear me. Right, hello everybody. Right, first off, sorry about the thumbnail for this stream. So it does say it was a 1950s farm. It wasn't. It isn't. It's from the ground up. So this is today's episode that would have gone out as a normal video, but I've decided not to do the video as an episode this time around. Sorry if my voice disappeared there for a second. Alright, sorry about that. Try I kind of, like, because I'm still not kind of used to doing live streams, etc. I kind of turned it on and thought it will give me a little while before it will start playing, and then that way I'll be able to get set up. And I pressed it and it was like instantly there. It's like, you've never done that before. But yeah, so as I say, we the thumbnail does say 1950s, but this is from the ground up. What I'll do is I will change that. Hopefully I'll be able to change that afterwards, and and everything will start to make a little bit more sense. But from the last episode of From the Ground Up, you'll remember that I wondered whether you could jackhammer the rocks that was in this field here. Turns out you can. And it also turns out that they don't come back when you reload the game, which is really good. So I've got this down. Obviously, this is our stone trailer, and I've got this sort of down here. I don't know why I didn't take it back, but I didn't. Yeah, so I've got that there to pick up the stones, and it worked a treat. So it will give us stones. I don't know whether you can do that to every single rock on the map. I don't know. But that, I mean the rocks that I don't own, because that was on my land. I suppose technically speaking, we could go around other fields and see whether or not we've got any more rocks. But as I say, we're going to be going today to drill our sugar beet. I'm going to be going, as I say, and drill the sugar beet today. Now, the other thing that I need to kind of say is that potentially this stream could just disappear. So the old problems of my computer that I thought I'd sent away to get fixed have come back again over the weekend. The computer has again been going black screen, fans to 100%, and then I have to switch it off by holding the power button and restart it. Yesterday it was a sod for the first probably hour that I was using it. It was like literally happening every few minutes, but for the rest of the day then it was okay. Saturday didn't do it at all. And Friday it did it once, and Thursday it did it once. So, as I say, the stream could just disappear, but that's the reason why that it has disappeared. Is just because for whatever reason my computer has decided that actually we need to start playing that fun game again. I think I've already drilled this field. I think this was yeah, it was. So that needs rolling, so we need to drill the other one. So I've gone far too far, but we need to drill the other one, and then we can crack on with the rolling, and then what we'll do is we will then skip forward to the next day, and we'll get on with some more planting and drilling. But I want to get my sugar beet in. We've got all these fields out here to do. We've also got potatoes and carrots and stuff like that to do as well. So yeah, we need to be cracking on today. So hopefully all well. Hopefully you've all had a good weekend. My weekend not too bad, but I had a bit of a tummy bug yesterday, so just feeling just feeling a little bit delicate this morning, or this afternoon I should say, but otherwise all grand. But yeah, so as I say, I've been as well working really hard on Fen Edge, and sort of playing really hard on it as well. I half contemplated doing the stream from Fen Edge today, just because I kind of wanted to see what sort of reception it got. I mean, in all fairness, no one watches my videos, so probably no one will watch this either, but if at any point you are in the stream, come and say hello. I don't bite, I promise. And it's always good to sort of get some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Some sort of idea of who is in the stream and who isn't in the stream. So yeah, as I say, feel free to comment. Alright, that's better. Still getting myself set up. Right, we're in. I think we're in now. I think we can lock in now. Crack on. So this field's been ploughed, so this is going to need to be pulled down. But that's not too bad actually, because we can use the God dear me, I'm not very good with words today, am I? The pre-ridger for the potatoes and stuff like that. I don't know where I think the potatoes, if I remember correctly, are going over in that field over there and that field there, and then we've got parsnips, red beets and carrots to get in there. The onions have been planted. Get my bearings. The onions have been planted in the fields over there. So that's all good. Afternoon down on the farm. Hopefully you're okay. Just have a good old slurp of tea. Thing is, with sugar beet and stuff, you don't need too big a field, you know, to get a lot of sugar beet. This is a decent sized field. That one there's a decent sized field. You know, so that will be more than enough for us to you know, to get enough sugar beet off. I mean, this year we haven't got the factory anyway. Again, so we'll just be selling the sugar beet as sugar beet really. But come next year, I do want the factory for sugar and stuff like that. I mean, we could get it this year, but well, I suppose if we put it in now, it would be ready, because we have to allow 6 months, so that'll be September. By the time that we would be allowed to use it, and that would be about the time that we would want to use it. So I guess if we put it in now, we could do. Once we get the headlands drilled, it won't take too long to to get the rest of this field finished then. I think I'm doing 3 headlands yet. So the Challenger is a mod that I found on fs25.net, I think it was. Well, I know it was, but I think that's what the website's called. I really like it, to be fair. It's really nice. I must admit, I am a Challenger man. I mean, anyone that knows what I used to do for a living will know why I'm a Challenger man. Spent me bleeding life in one. Well, certainly about 11 years, I think, I was working on the farm, and yeah, it was, as I say, spent many hours in one, but wouldn't have changed it for anything, to be fair. It was a really good sort of time in my life, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know, I mean, I guess looking back, the thing that people sort of don't realise, and it sort of happened with me, and funnily enough, it also happened with my uncle. So the one thing that a lot of people don't realise about farming is the sort of summer months. Now, for a lot of tractor drivers, the summer months would be sort of from late June onwards until about sort of September, October. For myself, and the job that I had on the farm, my sort of summer months would start in sort of March if it was dry enough, and go through right till December. And what you don't sort of realise at the time is that you're not spending that much time with family. You're not spending, sort of. I mean, friends wise, I didn't really have any friends anyway, so that sort of didn't bother me as much. But obviously, I was with someone at the time, and looking back now, I can kind of see why they used to get upset and frustrated and annoyed. Because, like I say, as soon as ploughing, as soon as the land was dry enough for me to start ploughing, or as soon as the veg was about to go in, or, if we were lifting, cauliflowers or broccolis or whatever, lettuces, as soon as that was done, I'd be ploughing the land, getting ready for the next, sort of lot of veg to go in. And it did mean that I spent an awful lot of hours at work. And like I say, I never really appreciated the toll that was taking on, sort of relationships that I was in at the time, or the relationship, because it wasn't multiple, it was only one. Sort of looking back now, maybe. Well, I don't know. I mean, looking back now, if I was still doing that job, I would maybe think about, do I need to be working, sort of 15 to 18 hours a day? I mean, the other thing as well is I was a young man back then, so, it was easy to do, whereas sort of in my mid-40s now, and I've never really felt my age until this year. So when I went into hospital in December, because my heart arrhythmias had come back. Before that, I didn't feel my age. I felt, I still felt as young and as sort of vibrant and as ever. But when I went into hospital, I don't know, after I came out of there, I've not been quite fully right since, and now I feel every bit of my age, if not older, which is a shame to say, because I used to feel sort of quite sprightly. I had sort of quite a lot of get up and go, and now it's sort of kind of got up and went, I'm sort of not that person anymore. So I probably maybe physically couldn't do the amount of hours that I was doing, back then. But looking back now, and as I say, my uncle, he, many years before me had got divorced from his first wife, who had sort of kind of got fed up with him working all the time, and then he met another woman and would eventually become his wife, and she too, used to sort of say, it's me or the job, and the thing is, I mean, certainly where me and my uncle are concerned, and don't get me wrong, my partner never ever said to me, it's me or the job. I think mainly because she knew that she would lose. I'd wanted to work on a farm ever since I was, sort of 2-3 years old, and going with my granddad, to work with my granddad, and from a very early age. I mean, I used to be on the track marshal with him, when I wasn't sort of at school or whatever. So weekends, I mean, I would go and meet him at like 8 in the morning, sit on the track marshal with him all day, You know, and you know, I'd basically do the same hours that he did. The only difference was he was being paid to be there, and I just wanted to be there. You know, and sort of growing up, ploughing was something that I always wanted to do because you know, as you do as kids, you sort of think, well, you know, I get to do it on the track marshal. And of course, by the time I'd got to, you know, sort of the late 90s and the early 2000s when I started work, um, you know, track marshals were very much a thing of the past, and you know, the farming sort of world had moved on. You know, now it was sort of Challenger 75. Uh, is it the 75C? I think it was, wasn't it? Or was it the 75E? I can't remember. Actually, I might have it in my mod folder. Might. I might not. No, I haven't. Or if I have got it in there, I haven't selected it. But yeah, so you know, but as I say, by the time I'd got to farming, and the other thing as well is I didn't actually start farming until 2007. So I had 10 years. So the first 2 years of my life was working at Turner's Turkeys, which honestly, don't never ever do that. Like honestly, it was shocking. I worked there with my dad and my brother, and it was every bit as terrible as what it sounded. Then I had a few years then where my heart went wrong, and I was unable to work, and I was in and out of hospital all the time. And you know, it's not new because I've had my heart condition since I was born, and well, I've had heart failure since I was born, and you know, and so that was a period when I was in sort of in and out. Then that kind of settled down a little bit, and they said, like, you know, we would advise that you don't work, that you sit at home and sort of take life easy. But I weren't having that. I was in my sort of early to mid 20s, so I decided I was going to get a job at Tesco's, and I was going to sit on a till. I thought I'd be sat down. I'm not working strenuously. I thought, you know, I can do this. So I did that, and I mean, you know, actually, to be fair, I did quite enjoy it. You know, I quite liked Tesco's and just sort of sitting on the till, chatting to people. But this was sort of Tesco's when customer service was everything. And now, you know, Tesco's is not that now. Now it's just serve everybody as fast as you can and get them out. You know, and that is their ethos. And that was their ethos when I went back there after I then worked on a farm. So some of you will know from the channel how that came about, some of you won't. Basically what happened was I wanted to work on a farm. I couldn't get on a farm. I hadn't got the experience. I hadn't, you know, sort of got mainly the experience and what have you, and no farm would take me on. So I hired my own tractor. I hired a plough, and in the summer of 2006, you know, I just basically went around local farms and said, look, you don't have to pay me. All I ask is that you put diesel in my tractor and I'll do the ploughing. I'll do the ploughing for free, but it will show you that I can do it. It will show you that, you know, I'm good enough to do it. And luckily enough, a local farm agreed, and it was the one where my granddad would work. It was the one that I wanted to work on, and they agreed to let me go for 2 weeks in September, and I went there ploughing in September and was offered the job at the end of that 2 weeks, but I couldn't start until the August a year later, because their worker who was retiring wasn't retiring until then, and they didn't, they basically said we don't have enough to do for 3 people. The farm only needs 2. So that was what I ended up doing. I'm looking for the tractor, and I was on the bloody tractor. Never mind. Right. I don't know whether we have roles or not, or whether I've been hiring them. It's been a little while since I've done that sort of stuff on here. Let's have a look. Nope. Excuse me, I was just looking to see whether there's a set of roles, and there isn't, which is unfortunate. There we go. I don't think I own any. I do own roles. Probably at the shop then. It's terrible as a farmer. I have no idea where my roles are, but let's go and see if we can find them. So these 2 fields, this one to my left, and then the next one. These are my onion fields. Yeah, we need to we'll need to get them sorted. They are now planted. But I like to sort the headlands out. It's not always easy to do that. Like while you're planting, it's sort of not straightforward to do that. This is the canola that we've got this year. Like I say, that's a field that was already there, but that's canola as well, luckily enough. And then that field, so where the green is, go to the next field, that's potatoes. This will be potatoes, and then the rest will be 1 field of carrots, 1 field of parsnips, and hopefully there'll be enough room for 1 field of red beets as well. So that will be sort of that sorted. And yeah, we're just, at the moment we're basically trying to get the farm started. We've been building the town up and the city up and what have you, and now I'm just looking. Okay. Honestly, I am the world's most forgetfulest person when it comes to like where did I leave my machinery. So we'll just keep driving around looking for the rolls. They're here somewhere, I know that much. But yeah, so as I say, for anyone that is watching that sort of doesn't know what From the Ground Up is, this is a map that I started with absolutely nothing on. Deleted all the buildings on the map, all the houses, blah blah blah, all the trees. Apart from the forest, as you can see, the forest is still there, but the trees and everything else all got deleted. I left some sell points on the map, just a few, and deleted everything else basically. So we basically started with the ground, and hence the name From the Ground Up, because we're trying to build a farm, the town or the city or whatever it is that you want to call it. We're trying to build it up. So we started off basically with buying the land here. This was all forest, so we've cut it all down. We bought the land. We put the house on first, then the garage, the white building, and then we started to sort of fill it in, and yeah, that's basically where we've got with that. It's not finished yet, but you know, want to sort of obviously get it finished, but it's not finished yet. Now I have a cool mod that wasn't working the other day. Let's see if it's working. I don't know why it wasn't. Oh no, I'm in the wrong area. Yeah, I don't know why. It just wouldn't show up, which is a bit odd. Like I say, it just wouldn't show up. You watch, I won't be able to find it now. Also as well, just really quickly, I'll show you another area that we've built. Oh, there it is. Ah, it's working today. Excellent. The other day it wasn't showing up. I think that's the way around you want it. Put it that way around, actually. Brilliant. And then what we'll do is we'll then landscape the rest of this and then put a path round and what have you. As I said in the last episode, I think this shed might go. This shed might go. Ignore the bit of snow. It was in the bucket. So I've just tipped it out. Yeah, the shed might go. And then what I'll do is I'll wall it up to here. We'll put a gate in somewhere here, and then path it round to the gate, and then this will be the changing rooms, or this is the changing rooms for the tennis courts, and then the public can come and use the tennis courts, and that'll be quite cool. That'll be a nice addition. I mean, I could even, I guess, put the parking in here. I guess, but yeah, as I say, we'll get that out in the future as well. Coming up, we're gonna get. What have I done with my rolls? Oh, do you know, I've driven past them twice. Okay, just quickly as well while we are down this end, and this is just for the benefit of those that perhaps didn't watch the last episode. So last episode we built this area down here, and again it's not finished. We've still got loads more to do down here, but I need to get on with my farming work, and then we'll do this in between time. So this is the car park here, and that's to the farm shop, and then I've put loads of placeable people in. This side built with more placeable people. I know they're repeated, but that's like literally the options you have. So you know, I couldn't help repeating, but then we put a play area up for the kids. This is obviously sand, but we put a play area up for the kids. With a look at tower that you can go up. I don't know what that was. Turns out we have some sound effects as well. Crikey. Right, I don't know what all that is, but anyway, yeah, so then we put a cafe in. I'm sorry about that. I genuinely don't know where that was coming from. But anyway, we put a cafe or a restaurant in there. As I say, we linked it down to here. Here I might put some trees in, maybe. Anyone that knows me and Farming Sim knows I'm not keen on trees. But I might put some trees in here. I might even as well take away a little bit of this fence and have this as a sort of seating area as well, for the restaurant. So we've got outdoor seating. I'm kind of using that as a pub slash restaurant. There are no modded pubs on Farming Sim. Oh, we can go. Oh, I didn't realise we could go in. That's quite cool. But yeah, so that, as I say, that's that area that we built up, and we will carry on with that as well. You know, once we get the farming done. So anyway, we'll go and find these rolls that have managed to escape my attention twice in very quick succession. We'll go and do that, and we'll get those 2 sugar beet fields rolled. I don't think we have to roll the onions. We never rolled them in real life, mainly because they obviously get planted in sets. So you know, obviously you don't want to be, that would be like rolling the potato mounds. It just wouldn't make sense. But anyway, let's crack on with the rolling. Afternoon, PA Ploughboy. Yeah, I was tempted by the pizza, I've got to be honest. But anyway, afternoon, hopefully you're well, and the family too. But yeah, anyway, let's go and crack on with this sugar beet rolling, and then we can skip forward to the next day, and then we can get on with some proper farming work. We got the potatoes to do, and etc., as I've sort of just said. But excuse me, we'll crack on with that. I'm not sure about these tractors, these Massey Fergusons, I've got to be honest. And the reason I'm not sure, and the only reason I'm not sure about them, is because, and I've said this a lot in the episodes, I just want to check that we don't roll the onions. Turns out we do, apparently. Oh, that's odd. Anyway, we'll roll it because the game wants me to do it, and if we don't do it, we'll get hit with yield penalties. So we'll get them rolled. I've got a feeling they'll probably need liming as well. So we will of course have to do that as well. Endeavour to get that done. But as I say, just very quickly, I want to roll these 2 sugar beet fields, and then as I've said, you know, a little while ago, we'll then fast forward, and then we'll get on with the farming that we need to get on with. The main idea and the main plan of this live stream is to do the potato planting. So I need to offer a little bit of an explanation, Ploughboy. So it says 1950s on the thumbnail to the stream, and obviously we're on From the Ground Up. The reason being is because I started the stream, and I thought what I'll do is, just before I start it, I will change the thumbnail over to From the Ground Up, so people know, you know, what series we're on, and know what map we're going to be on and what game we're sort of doing. And for whatever reason, and YouTube has never done it before, when I've been streaming, what it did was, it basically, when I got up on the stream thing, it picked up my OBS straight away and thought, oh, he's already started. So it literally started live streaming, and I was unable to change the thumbnail. So come tonight, when this live stream will go up as a video, it will have the correct thumbnail. So I'm hoping that 1950s will be live streamed on a Wednesday. So I'm hoping that Mondays will be from the ground up. Wednesdays hopefully will be 1950s. This is all computer dependent, obviously, because my computer this weekend has started doing what it was doing a few weeks ago. When it came back from the menders, everything seemed fine, everything seemed okay, but no, it started doing it again. So it's probably going to have to go back again. And the thing is, and don't get me wrong, my channel was never, you know, the most popular channel in the world, but not doing any videos for a month has basically killed my channel. My shorts now get very few views, whereas before they were always hitting at least 1,000. My videos like next to no views. So, you know, having that sort of about 3-week period where I wasn't doing videos because I didn't have a PC, it killed my channel basically. And my channel is dying a very slow and painful death at the moment, but hopefully, as I say, it looks as if my PC is going to have to go back to the manufacturers again, because it's doing the whole kind of, I'll just randomly turn myself off. So if this stream disappears before I say cheerio, that's what's happened. It's just decided to turn itself off again. As I say, yesterday in the space of an hour it happened probably about 3, 4, 5 times, something like that. The day before it didn't happen at all. Friday once, Thursday once. Touch wood, today so far it hasn't happened. So that's kind of why I've been brave to do a live stream. But we'll persevere. But as I say, if it does disappear, that is what has happened. So. I think I must have done PA Plowboy, but I'm not too worried. There'll be a patch every week for the next 6 months. At some point they'll fix one part of it, but break 3 other parts of it. But yeah, no, it does feel like that a bit. I got to be honest. Like I say, it's well, I mean, I've googled the error that I'm getting, so I'm getting a kernel power error 41 come up in Windows log, which means nothing to me. But apparently it's quite a well-known issue. Because I sort of was thinking, well, I'm never going to get another computer from Chill Blast again. The thing was, I've always had Chill Blast, apart from the one time that I had MSI, sorry, and then for whatever reason I changed to Chill Blast. I'm talking 10-15 years ago, if not longer than that. And I changed over to Chill Blast, and as I say, every computer I've had from them, I've never had an issue ever. Like, I've never had one single issue, and it's the same for MSI as well. So I'm not giving MSI a bad name, because my monitor is an MSI monitor that I've got, as monitors go, it's very good. I mean, it's a 4K one that is also capable of 3D. But yeah, so morning, Jeff. Hopefully you're well. Good to have you in the stream. Yeah, I know. PA, like I say, my channel. I mean, like, as I said, don't. I'm not, sort of saying that I was daggering levels before my computer went away, but I'm sort of doing okay. My views on my sort of longer videos are basically disappeared. Um, for whatever reason, they went from being over 1,000, sort of views on certainly on 1950s and oh, was it Carmlands? I think I did in and around the same time. Was it Carmlands Farm? The 200 horsepower challenge series. I can't remember what that was called. I'm sure it was called Carmlands. And that was getting really good views as well. Britain's Farm was, sort of up there. I don't think that ever got 1,000, but certainly mid hundreds. And then you look at sort of Bevington, and then another farming game that I did at sort of the end of last year. And they were doing, sort of okay, and everything was kind of steady, and sort of, I was getting, sort of steady subscriber levels. I mean, this weekend alone, I've lost 6 subscribers, and I sort of kind of think, I'm not really doing anything any different to what I've always done. Maybe that's the point. Maybe I need to start doing something different. I must admit, my longer videos, I'm not that great at editing, so they don't look that great. Don't get me wrong, I always watch my video before I put it out and think, if I wouldn't sit and watch it, it's not going up on YouTube. And that's kind of how I've always done it. I've always done that. And every video that I've put up, yes, I would sit and watch. And to be fair, I've actually sat and watched them from start to finish rather than just watch the first sort of 10 minutes or whatever. I've actually, sort of sat and watched them, from start to finish, and thought, for me, it's quite entertaining. It's sort of the sort of thing I would sit and watch. And the other thing as well is that as you was alluding to there, PA, you don't know what YouTube's going to do. Sometimes they push my videos, sometimes they don't. Most of the time they don't, to be fair, but sometimes they do push it. And you do see a noticeable increase then in views and stuff like that. I have to admit, I do get a lot out of doing the live streams. I really like the live streams. And as I've said before, I may move over to live streaming, so I may start live streaming at first, probably 3 days a week, and then moving it up to 5 days a week, and then just have the weekends off for my racing, and plus as well the rest of the house then is sort of off at the weekend, so the noise would be, I wouldn't be able to do it because there'd just be too much happening. So yeah, I might move over to live streaming. I really do enjoy it. I mean, hopefully I'm engaging enough. I think I am. There is a huge part of me that kind of sort of in my own head sort of says, well, I don't really care if I'm not. And then it's like, well, yeah, I get what you mean, but you do need to be semi-engaging, otherwise people aren't going to sit and watch. Yeah, as I say, I do sort of I am considering moving sort of full time over to live streaming, and sort of letting go of the videos, just because, as I say, my editing skills are really not that great. I think the thing is, I don't really have the time and well, I have the time, but I don't really have the patience for it. And I think that's my biggest sort of downfall with that, is sometimes I do find it a little bit tedious, and I do find it a little bit because what tends to happen is that I'll sort of see something and I think, no, that needs editing out. So I'll edit it out, and then I'll start going through the video and it's like, oh, that can come out. And then all of a sudden you've got a 6-minute video from 5 hours worth of recording, and you sort of think, I either go sort of not enough and don't edit enough out, to then editing nearly everything out. And I sort of don't quite have the knack for it that, you know, that other people do have. I mean, my nephew, he's 14, YouTube channel, you know, he's got in excess of about 33,000 subscribers. You know, he's getting sort of 100,000 views every time he puts a video. He puts a video up, like, you know, once every where he always says, Uncle James, I'll put the video up when I can be bothered to put the video up. And he's like, he's absolutely killing it, like. And I sort of look at it and I think, and I say to him, you know, like, I say, how come you're... And he says, well, I don't wish to be rude, Uncle James, but my videos are just more interesting. Okay, fair enough. So, you know, what can you say? But it's just the way it is, I guess. But yeah, anyway, we'll get this second field rolled, and then we'll fast forward the day, and then we can crack on with the potato planting tomorrow then, and then hopefully all will be well with the computer, and we'll be able to get to the end, and we'll be able to get done what we want to get done. And then once we've got the farming side done, because we'll have to do some liming as well, but I'll get the computer AI worker to do that. But once we get the farming side done, we then need to crack back on with getting carrying on building the town and the city up. I had a Weetabix for my dinner and it's given me really terrible indigestion. I do apologise if you do hear the odd rumble of air. Yeah, it's as I say, yesterday I had a little bit of a sort of tummy bug type thing, and today I was kind of like, I'm hungry but I don't really want to get too adventurous, and so I thought, well, Weetabix should be okay, but yeah, it's repeating on me quite bad. Never mind. I think one of the first areas that I want to get done once we get the farming done is I want to get the farm shop area finished, so that is ready to go. So I want to get that done, and then I also want to get some more of the street being built, or the town area. We've built the church. I built all the houses for those that watched the last episode that went out last week. So we built that whole street up now. As I say, we built the church, and I want to get the shops areas in, some food shops in, so like a McDonald's, stuff like that. I want to get that sort of getting built as well. And basically, you know, sort of go from there, right? Like I say, I mean, you know, because I got a and this is another thing as well with YouTube that I just don't get. You know, I've got regulars that will comment on like my live streams and in my videos and stuff like that. Everyone else emails me. It's like, it would be really helpful if you could put these in the comment sections, because this is how YouTube sort of kind of gathers how popular your video is. But everyone emails me. And they sort of said, you know, oh, kind of like, you know, you're building up the town, great, but where's the farming? Yeah, this is Farming Simulator. So I then sort of decided, well, actually we'll invest money in the farm then, and we'll start to get that side going. And so that's why we've sort of gone from doing hardly any farming, because I just didn't have the time to farm because I was building the town, to now we're farming when we're farming, but while we're waiting for crops to grow, we'll then be building the town, building the holiday resort that's got to be built here, and different things like that. I mean, we're not going to do it across the whole map, but we are going to do it for the majority of the map. And as I say, the big thing that I want to get in is the holiday park, the fishing lakes, the roller coasters, sort of a mini fairground, because there's not really many fairground mod rides out there. So but there's a roller coaster, and the good thing about the roller coaster is that I can build it, so it's not just plonking it down. I can actually build the roller coaster, which is really cool. And the other good thing about that is that it's one of the old-fashioned wooden roller coasters. Great Yarmouth still has a wooden roller coaster. It is fantastic. I'm not allowed on it. Well, I suppose I could go on it, but I'd probably need carrying off it. So I sort of don't go on it, but it's an old-fashioned wooden roller coaster, still in obviously in very good condition because the public use it. But so it's nice that we were able to build that. I say got the church built last episode as well, and then obviously we've sort of started farming, which is really good. So yeah, it's looking really well. Say 1950s. Hopefully going to be streaming that on Wednesday, and that's going to be drilling that big field that we ploughed in the last stream, and then I did an episode on it as well, because there are a couple of people that do watch my videos that have said, I'll be sort of quite disappointed if you move over to live streaming, because I won't be able to watch the live streams because obviously they're working and sort of busy in the day. So all the live streams that I do will be made into videos. They'll go up onto my channel. Yes, they'll be 2-3 hours long, whatever. But I watch a YouTuber called Rad Brad, and every video that he doesn't live stream, but every video he does is a minimum of 2 hours. And what I tend to find is that I sort of probably watch about half an hour, 45 minutes every night. But I do get through his videos, but it just takes me, obviously, because I don't sort of sit and watch, from start to finish, because I don't have the attention span. Thanks for that, Ricky. Yeah, I guess sort of in the UK, most roller coasters now are steel and whatever else. And but yeah, I know that I mean, once upon a time that was how. I think Blackpool still has their wooden roller coaster as well. They obviously have the new modern ones as well, but I like them, to be fair. And no worries about the interruption. You interrupt as much as you like. It gives us stuff to talk about, which is always good. But nice of you to be able to join, and the same with everyone that's watching. Comment, get in touch. See if we can get discussions about whatever going, and yeah, everyone is very welcome to excuse me, to comment, and as you say, Ricky, to interrupt. Not that it's interrupting at all, but yeah, good to have you in the stream. Right, that's got this done, so we'll get back to the farm. Oh no, we need to roll the onions, don't we? Or we can do that tomorrow. We'll get back to the farm. We'll get the daylight in and make the screen a little bit brighter. I don't know what it is. I really hate it when the game is dull and dark. No, you know, I sort of want it sunny and bright and, you know, looking sort of good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think those Ricky, sorry. I think they're called Helter Skelters, aren't they? Again, Great Yarmouth has a wooden one of them as well. Or it did have. To be fair, I haven't been down to the fair for a couple of years now. I still go to Yarmouth quite a lot, but I go racing there, so I tend to have a bit of a ritual. So I go racing, go to the racing, and then when I come out of the racing, I do go onto the seafront, but I then I go to a fish and chip restaurant, go and have my fish and chips, and then sort of just make my way steadily home. But yeah, I think they're called Helter Skelters, if I remember correctly, or they certainly called that in this country. Alright, is this the onion field? Certainly is. I'm sure you don't roll onions in real life. I'm almost certain we never rolled our onions. I don't even know why I'm doubting myself. You don't, because we used to plant them in sets, and that would destroy the set if we rolled them. But anyway, the game wants me to roll them, so roll them we will. Roll them we will. Even though I don't think we should. I've still got to take that tractor back as well. But yeah, so we'll just quickly get this done. Shouldn't take long. I might actually have to end up buying myself a bigger set of rolls. To be fair, I don't mind the job rolling. I mean, when I started out on the farm, that was one of the early jobs that you get given when you're fairly new to farming. In actual fact, it was the job I was given when I was on my work experience. So I was like 15, and I was still at school, obviously, at the time, and you used to have to do 2 weeks work experience. And I went to the farm where my granddad worked and sort of said, "Can I do my work experience?" And they were like, "Yeah, of course you can." So I went there, and I ended up being there for a month, because it was the last 2 weeks of half term, and then you had the half term holidays, or last 2 weeks of term, and then you had the half term holidays, and then you go back. So I ended up being there for a month, because at the end of my 2 weeks, they were like, "Well, you're on holiday now." So I was like, "Yeah." So they said, "Do you want to stay for the next 2 weeks?" And because it was in the autumn, it was in October, and they were drilling wheat, and they put me on the rolls, on the old David Brown 996 and the set of gang rolls, and so I ended up staying there for a month in total, and rolling for them, which was. Honestly, I was made up, because I didn't, I went there as a 15-year-old thinking, well, they're clearly not going to put me on the tractors, and I got there that Monday morning at 8 o'clock, and the boss man said to me, he said, "You've got a choice." So I said, "Okay." So he said, "You can either," I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Sweep out all my sheds and make them look tidy." I was like, "All right." He said, "Or you can go rolling." "Oh yeah, I'll go rolling." He said, "That's what I thought." He said, "But I thought I'd give you the choice." So, "I'll go rolling. Just get me on those rolls." And then, so I say I was on the David Brown 996 with the gang rolls and the cage wheels as well on the rears. Cool, those were the days. 15 years of age, driving a tractor all day long. Didn't want to do anything else. I never wanted to do anything else. And yeah, it was fantastic. Really, really good. That's right, Ploughboy. Yeah, smashed onion soup. Oh well. It's just another one of those things that Giants have implemented into the game and then just not really bothered to kind of find out what goes on. I mean, when potatoes in 2013 were introduced into Farming Sim, they wanted us to roll after potatoes as well. And in the end, I think that was the case for the whole of 2013. The whole of 2015, although I used to take the yield hit and not roll them. But the game wanted you to roll them. It was only in 2017 that it was modded, that someone made a mod where you didn't have to roll the potatoes. And then in 2019 that mod got converted. In FS22, Giants finally realised, oh, perhaps you don't roll potatoes then, and it was then taken out. And obviously it's not in FS25 either, so but yeah, so Giants will eventually catch up to the real world. Eventually. So who's going to be buying the Vrado pack tomorrow? How many of you guys are interested? I've got to be honest, I've had a look at it. Not for me. You know, I've got to be honest about that. I find the introduction of wild boar nice, that we've got sort of more animals or whatever, you know, sort of running around. Not too keen on the fact that they have implemented the fact that they can do crop damage, because I feel that's going to be a lot like the wearing system on Farming Sim, you know, where tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning I can buy a brand new tractor. By tea time that afternoon, a lot of the paint will be chipped off it. I'll need to repair it, and you think, I only bought it today. So yeah, I've got a feeling that although I have I don't know whether it's true or not, but I have heard that you can turn the crop damage to them off. Because I mean, and I'm not being funny, but like, because it will be the way Giants do things, which is they sort of half-arse everything. There's no way of policing it, you know, to get them off your land, or to stop them from going on there in the first place. So the fact that you can turn it off is quite helpful, but nah, it's not for me. As far as I know, because obviously the game will get patched tomorrow as well, as far as I know, it's going to be, you have to have the Vrado pack in order for the hog to be there, so I'm hoping that's the case, because if not, we'll have to find a way of turning them off. Yeah. We will definitely be having to find a way of turning them off, because I'm not a fan. That's a fair point, to be fair, Ricky. Yeah, I must admit, I kind of have thought about doing it that way as well. And whether I do with be next year's game, I think, won't it? Next year, when the when they'll announce the new game. I kind of thought, because FS25, Giants issues aside, but for the mods that are coming out now for it, slowly but surely, I think it is becoming every bit as good, if not slightly better. And this is subject to opinion, of I understand that, but if not slightly better than FS22. Now FS22 is probably either FS22, FS19 are my two favourite versions of the game. But yeah, for the sort of next year, for what would that be, 28, will it, 29, something like that, be 28, wouldn't it? Yeah, whether I'll hold off or not, I don't know, because like I say, I've really not been impressed with FS25. That is the biggest thing that I do find, Ricky, that obviously because I do the videos and stuff, people want me to to play the new games or whatever, and I agree, Plowboy, as well. Yeah, if you could hunt them and sort of do stuff like that within the game, then not too bad. But like I say, the problem is, and I don't, Giants at the end of the day, alright, they've monopolised the market in terms of making sure that no one can be a competition to them. I understand that, but I am grateful that they have built a farming game that I think in some ways the new games they bring out every it used to be every 2 years, didn't it? But I think it's every 3 now. And I don't know why they do that. I do not understand why every 3 years they decide to break everything that everyone's done for the game and start again. Why not do what Euro Truck do? And that is just keep releasing updates for their game. So I think they release like 2 major updates a year. So that's 2 lots of. I know Giants do like Vredo DLCs and what have you, but Euro Truck do their DLCs throughout the year, but they also do 2 major updates throughout the year as well. And I personally, I think that is a much better way of doing it, because most of the mods for Euro Truck stay compatible. Euro Truck sort of look at the very best mods that are out there for the game, and they make sure that they're compatible with every update that they do. I don't know why Giants don't do it. I genuinely don't understand why every 3 years they basically tear the game to pieces and try and redo it, because since about 2019 the game FS25, when that was released over a year ago, I think it was 2 years ago, something like that. Well, the end of 2024 it would have been, wouldn't it? I mean, the game was in an absolute horrendous state from the get-go, and it's only now just starting to get where it doesn't crash on me most of the. I mean, now crashes are fairly few and far between, but that's only been like since probably Christmas or something like that. So yeah, I don't know, like I'm just not sure. You know, I just think the problem. You know, they're all for the gimmick and all for the kind of money, but they're not really for building a substantially great game. I mean, it take 25 for example. Within a few months of that being released, the virtual reality version got released. All that money spent on probably a game that has proved not to be that popular. Then there was the racing game that they decided to do, um, and I just look at it and think that's not where your money is. Your money is Farming Simulator. You know, as a content creator, I get told, find a niche, stick to it. You know, and build that niche that you've got to be the very best that it can be. Whereas Farming Sim have kind of gone, sort of 2019, 2022. We've mastered farming. Now let's get in our fingers into everything and just cream them for as much money as we can for really not that great of products when they first get released. I wouldn't have minded so much if they'd have released it as early access and said, it's not finished and it needs a lot of work, but if you want to play it, give us half the money and you can play it. It's one thing that I do like about all my other games that I play on Steam. I've been really fortunate the last 3 games I've had. I've been given keys to. So I've kind of, like I say, I've been really fortunate, and I sort of get the email from the company or from the developer, and it'll just say, "Here's a free key to the game. It's not forced, but we hope you would maybe cover it in a video." And it's like, okay, fair enough. And some games, and I sort of think, I can't really put a video out of that, to be fair. Mainly because the game's just not stable. But there's been others like Car Dealer Sim that I have put a video. I think I did a live stream on it. But that's another game developer that for me in the last 2 months has ruined the game. It was a really good game in and around Christmas and sort of up to about February. Really good game, really addictive. Just could not stop playing it. And then they started putting gimmicks in it, and now I don't touch it. I think I've uninstalled it. So a game that I am looking forward to playing this year is Farmers Dynasty 2, or Dynasty, depending on what part of the world you're from. But that is very true, Ricky. Yeah, very true. Yeah, there's not really much more I can add to that. I think you said everything just about spot on there. But yeah, no, I say, going back to the other games, like, it's just a case of I prefer the early access versions of the game, so I'm looking forward to playing Farmers Dynasty, or I'll say Dynasty, depending on where you're from. I'm looking forward to doing that. I'll probably do a couple of videos on it, but mainly it'll be live streamed again. Today I've just bought the first one. It was in Steam sale for £4, so I thought, I may as well buy it and give it a go, see what it was all about. So I sort of know more what to expect with the second version. So I've done that. But yeah, as I say, for Farming Sim, it's they need to sort out what they are and then try and be the very best at it. It looked really promising with Cattle and Crops. I don't know if you can remember that game from a few years back. That's probably getting on for about 10 years now, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. That game looked really... and even Giants were worried about that, because then they sort of bought the class licenses, and then said, like, you know, well, you can't go in other games, and that sort of did kill them off, basically, because they had Dutzvar and class, and there was another brand they had in there as well that they had quite a bit of. Was it Pottinger, I think, something like that. And it was such a shame that did get. I suppose Giants are no different to FIFA. You know, FIFA basically kill off anyone that starts to produce a game that looks like it could challenge their game. So, but it's a shame, because a bit of competition for Giants would really buck them up, and really give them, you know, pause for thought, basically. Because, like you say, Ricky, you know, the physics in this game are absolutely shocking, and they're not as bad as what they were in sort of 2009 to 2013, when you touch a bale, or you even go near a bale, you even think about picking a bale up, and that bale was off across the map. It was gone. I mean, I don't know if you lot can remember when Farming Simulator, you know, was like that, but I can. I can remember it, and yeah, it was shocking, absolutely shocking. But yeah, that's. I mean, you can pick bales up now, but the game hasn't got, you know, wildly better from that situation. Like I say, the physics are terrible. The mud, well, there is no mud in the game. I mean, the map maker on this map has added a kind of mud system to the game, which means the tractors can't really get on and off the fields with full trailers. But that's not a Giants thing, that's a map maker's thing. That's alright, Ricky. Yeah, it's it was very entertaining of an evening getting home from work in 2009, and whilst you was at work on the tractors thinking, I might do some baling on the game tonight. Yeah, that's what I'll do. That sounds like a good idea, because that's worked every time before. And you would go home and you get really excited. You'd do the baling, you'd do the combining, you'd do the baling, and then it was like, by the end of the night, you probably had a total of 3 bales on the trailer. You'd baled hundreds. It's yeah, no, I remember those days. So there's a map on 2009 that I downloaded, and I'm never quite sure whether it was the map, whether it was my computer, or whether it was that I had a dodgy mod. Now, back in 2009, dodgy mod is the most likely reason why, you know, why things were, you know, not working as good as what they perhaps should have. I had a map on there, and the map was absolutely, I can't remember the name of it. I have looked for it, because I thought if I can find it, I will I'll download it, and I'll because I didn't realise this, but if you go to Farming Sim mod, the mod hub site, if you go to I think it's help and support, and then just say on the, because you don't talk to no one, there's some options. If you just put I've lost my product key, they send you an email with every product key you've ever bought from any game. And so I thought, oh, if I can remember the name of that map, I thought I can re-download without having to buy 2009. And so I've now got that email that they send you saved in my email folder. because like I say, it's got every single product key ever in there. It's like fantastic that they do that, and you don't have to ask for it or anything. You just literally click. I can't remember what the option is without looking, but I think it was something like I've lost my product key or whatever. And then, as I say, they send you an email with every single product key you've ever bought. Which, as I say, I think is really, really good, really good. Yeah, so I thought if I could find the map. Yeah, that's true enough, Playboy, but I can't see that happening. They're too greedy for that. You know, far too greedy for that, but yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea, to be fair. But yeah, so I say, but I just can't remember the map, and when you go on the internet now and look for mods for 2009, you know, hardly any ever come up. But I would love to play that map again, and I'd love to play it sort of base game only, so that I could see whether it was the map the reason why it kept crashing, or whether it was actually a dodgy mod as to why it kept crashing. But I absolutely loved the map. The map was fantastic, and it was only a small map as well, which, you know, is unusual for me because I like the really big maps, as you've probably all gathered through the series that I do. That I do like the big maps. I've started doing sort of multiplayer as well now with Andrew, who I've sort of got to know through my YouTube channel, and we've sort of, up until my computer went to the menders, we were doing Montana, the multi-fruit version, and we've kind of stopped doing that because when the computer came back from the menders, a lot of my save games had gone, and that was one of them that had gone. So we've sort of not done it since. But I say, if any of you guys are interested in doing multiplayer, let me know, because then I can sort it out. I've never really sort of mentioned it or whatever, because I kind of didn't think people would be interested in sort of doing it. But and it's not that I get a huge amount of time sort of in this sort of from now until the autumn again because of racing, but over the winter months, you know, it's something that I can do. I mean, you know, I can sort of do it this time of year, but all I'm saying is it would be a little bit less frequent than sort of more the winter months, when I would have a lot more time to sort it out and get it hosted and what have you, and do it like. Yeah, that's true, Playboy, yeah. Right, we've got that done. We'll get back to the farm. We'll fast forward time, and then we'll crack on with the potato planting for tomorrow. And then once we've got the potatoes done, we then need to crack on with all the other veg. But at least we've got the rolling done now, so turn the lights off, turn that off, get out. I will have a save. I know this doesn't look great on live streaming, but we will have a save, just because obviously this is part of the series that we're doing, so always good to save it. Like I say, the snow was in the bucket, and so I needed to empty the bucket because I needed to use the bucket. There's nothing in the grain stores, by the way, at the moment, but come the autumn there will be, but they are ready to go. It's a good mod, that, actually. Again, fs25.net. I was watching a big farm sim YouTuber the other day, and he was like, "Oh, if you go to this website," and he mentioned fs25.net as one of the websites. You're going to get viruses in your computer. This is going to happen. The world's going to explode. Pandas are going to die. Across the world, and what he was like basically hammering this website. And yes, you have to be a little bit careful with the website, not in terms of viruses, but in terms of sometimes they do have mods that are stolen or whatever on there, and I'm not for that, and I won't download them. Or if I, sort of download it and then later find out through the forums and other things that I go on that actually, the mods turned out to be stolen or whatever, I will then delete it and get rid of it. But he was his point was that let's fast forward while I'm yakking away so as we can get into the next day. Was you were going to get viruses and everything. It's a load of rubbish. I ain't saying that isn't the case for every sort of second-hand, if you like, mod site, but he was sort of kind of singling out that one in particular, I download from there. I scan every mod before I put it in my game or open it anyway. I don't just download a mod and put it straight in. I actually do scan them before I do download them, just to make absolute certain. Can't believe my car is actually in the game now. That is so cool. Like I said to you in the episode, the only difference between this car, because it's the same colour, is that I've got the silver wheels, and I decided just for something a little bit different to put the black wheels on it. But yeah, my car's, and also as well, my car's right-hand drive, not left-hand drive. But yeah, anyway, right, let's crack on. So I need the Challenger, because we're going to, as I say, we're going to do some potato planting. Can I just say as well, this has to be one of the best mods I have ever downloaded. So kudos to the people that made this mod. And the fact that I think they are far better than reversible plows. So, like, if anyone's watching that doesn't sort of know what it is, it's basically a switch plow. So it's obviously all bottom plough, or as I call them, all bottom ploughs. And then it just switches from left to right, meaning you can just plough up and down, rather than only ploughing one way with them. I absolutely love this mod. Absolutely love it. I think the UK should adopt them, rather than the reversible ploughs. But I say the biggest problem with the UK is, A, it's wider than 3 metres, and also it's quite long as well, and so it probably wouldn't be for the width, it definitely wouldn't be allowed on our road without transporting in a trailer, or on a trailer. But yeah, I absolutely love the mod. I think it's brilliant. Field rows, I think if it was him that I remember it from, they were using one, which is where I first saw it, and I thought, well, that's an interesting concept. And then I think it was him I was watching that's got one, and then lo and behold, sort of a day or two later, whichever channel it was I was watching, a couple of days later, and a mod of one came out. I was like, wow, I thought that's a bit. So I downloaded it, and as I say, I really like it. I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant. A lot less stress on the headstock of the plough and on the tractor as well. So one of the biggest things that I would find with, not so much on farm 2 to be fair, but that was because we used different ploughs, but on farm 1, where I was using a 6620 John Deere, and usually my sort of usual plough was a 5 for Dowdeswell reversible, and I don't know whether it was a Dowdeswell thing. To be fair, actually, I had a Lemkin plough as well. So the Dowdeswell was closed mould boards, and the Lemkin was open slatted mould boards, and on both of the ploughs, come to think of it, the headstocks would crack eventually, because obviously the weight of the plough going over and then sort of dropping down on either side, and as I say, in the end, both of them over a period of years would have the headstocks on the ploughs. They'd get cracks in them and start to sort of break off. And the other thing as well was that after many years of using reversible ploughs on the tractors, I think the modern ones are a lot better, but these were older tractors, and the linkage would start to take a bit of damage and wear as well. So it's I think that switch plough is a much better way of doing it. I wish this had 3-point linkage on the back. I really do. But it doesn't. Only this one does. So it's a bit of a toss-up of whether you use that one, but that's all you use, or you use this one, but you can use the 3-metre planter as well. So I think we're going to go with that, because that way I can do 2 jobs in one pass. I'll buy it, to be fair, and then come out of here. So we could go for either one of them. I think we'll go for this one. Put ridge markers on them. Put me number plate on. Has to be pink, otherwise she'd shoot me. There we go, and then we'll buy that as well. Oh, one thing I forgot. Buy 4 of them. Make it red. Right. I apologise for the break in chat in there. 2 things was happening. One, I was thinking, and I can't operate the brain at the same time as the mouth. And the other thing was someone came in and was like, "Can I talk?" It's like, if you must. Right. Let's have a look. Do that. Do that. Right. Thinking about it, my biggest fear is that these boxes will be empty, and they're not. That is fantastic news. Right. Let's get ourselves sorted out. We're going to need to go back and get a tractor. We're going to need to go back and get a tractor. Right, we're going to need to put that on the flatbed. The other thing as well that we need to do is to look at whether it takes solid fertiliser or liquid fertiliser, so that we can get that done as well. I don't know how many of those boxes that potato plant is going to take, to be fair, but anyway, we'll get them, we'll get it sorted out, and then we'll get to the field, and then we'll get cracking on. So this was a job that I did on the farm as well. So there were 3 tatey planters altogether. Again, 2 full-time and then 1 floater. So the third on the farm of everything was a floater driver, so it could be any one of us that drove that machine. It was a job that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the potato work. You know, whether it was harvesting, driving one of the Grimmy GT 170s, or planting, or sometimes I would go on the ridger. We had 6, so 9 ridgers altogether, because there'd be 3 to each planter, so that they could keep in front. Yeah, I mean, the 3 potato planters weren't always used at the same time. You know, it could be that they would use the 2 in the fields, and then if they were getting behind, or if it came wet, or if it was just before it was going to come wet, you know, we would then get the 3rd up and running, and get them going, so that you know, we could sort of keep ahead of the weather, basically. Right, if we put that there, stop there, turn the engine off. Don't want to waste diesel. I'm paying for it. And then hopefully I haven't blocked nothing in. Nope, which is good. Put this on. This tractor will be more than big enough for this combination, and it was the combination that I used to use, although ours was a 6 metre potato planter. Just drop that down. Oh, okay. There we go. And then we should be able to lift that up, I think. There we go. It's a heck of a weight, but like I say, our one at work, I say this was kind of, I wouldn't have the ridger on the front, but it would be a rotavator that I'd have on the front, and then it would go through and then ridge. It wasn't, well, it was a rotavator, but it wouldn't be all the way across. It would be between the rows. I think that's right. I think I'm remembering that correctly. I'm not so sure now. I'm doubting myself. What was it that I had on the front? On the front of the planter. I'll have to look at my pictures. If I can find my pictures and I can find a way of getting them on one of the videos, I'll do that. Then you guys can kind of see what I used to do and what I used to drive. I say the MT765 is what I used to drive. Hence the reason why you'll sort of virtually see it in every series that I do of some sort, apart from 1950s, obviously, because they weren't around then, clearly. But yeah, So I wonder how you get the front bit up. Might be the mouse. No. No, that's the front. I don't know how you get that up then. Never thought about this, did I? That's how you tip it. Let's just see if it latches onto the box. This is the problem with not having the SATEC set up. Yeah, you need that up first. Does that help? No. That does not. Ah, there we go. Right. Let's okay, why doesn't that go on the ground? That's why. Oh dear. We're not getting on too well. I think what I'll do is, until I get a little bit of practice with that and I get a little bit more accustomed to its controls, we'll fill it up the old-fashioned way. Which is like this. Oh. It's I must admit I should have pre-checked that out, to be fair, but anyway, let's just crack on because I want to get these potatoes done today, to be fair. No, we can't even load them like that apparently. Oh dear. It went better in rehearsals, I won't lie to you. It definitely went better in rehearsals. Never mind. Alright, let's do this the old-fashioned way. Problem is, actually, to be fair, I might not be able to get them in there. Right. This could all go very, very wrong, you know. I know I can't tip them, obviously, with this, but I'm hoping that just putting them over might... Oh dear. Is that going to work? I don't think it is. Right. We could try this. We'll lease it. let's just make sure that no. Alright, I do apologise for this. Like I say, I should have checked this out beforehand, but we'll give it one more go. If not, we'll have to get some bags and just put the bags in. I was rather hoping we were going to be able to do it properly, but it's gone a bit Pete Tong. God, I love new mods. Especially before you know how to use them. Oh dear. Oh dear. Alright, what we'll do is we'll we'll scrap trying to do it ultra realistic just for now until I can get used to the controls of the potato tippers, box tippers I should say, and what we'll do is we will just buy some seed bags. Right, we'll buy 4, should be enough. And we'll just do this. I can hear the cries of YouTube now, you know. Call yourself a farmer. I can't believe how badly that went. I literally, like this morning when I was sort of kind of planning it and sort of looking around and what have you, I was sort of kind of thinking, yeah, we should be okay. Oh dear. Why is that not working? Ah, there we go. That's better. Now we're getting somewhere, thank goodness. I thought this was going to make me look extremely silly then for a second, but we're working, we're off. Well, I know the feeling, Ricky, but yeah, as I say, the less said about all of this, the better today. To be fair. Right, how much is in there? We can get another one in, but we'll leave it for now. I'm assuming that we can. I've got to lower it down. It's too high. See, the thing is, today I found this morning I found loads of realistic mods. Loads, like the potato box tippers, the one that you just saw there where I was able to open the bags manually, rather than them just having them empty before I even get them over the machine. And also as well, I should be able to I did open it. Right, so now we need 4 fertilizer bags. It should be this one. Right, so if we get these, where did they go? They went up there. So yeah, so I downloaded loads of realistic mods, thinking, oh, this will make the stream really cool. This will. I'll be a hero amongst the whole of YouTube. Instead, I just look like a Wally to the whole of YouTube. Anyway, right, we will ignore all of that, and we will just do it the old-fashioned way. Can't imagine what would happen if I didn't know what I was doing. Right, let's. I genuinely can't believe how badly that just went. But anyway, let's crack on. Now I can't see whether I'm. Oh, that's a bit high, to be fair. I'll put that down a bit. Really? Has that filled it up? No, I didn't think so. Hello. Good job I wasn't stood underneath that. Can't believe how badly this is going. I cannot believe how badly this is going. Right, let's try again. Yeah, as I say, I downloaded these mods because I thought, oh, you know, being able to do what you have to do in real life, which is get on the machine, open the bags, you know, and then I sort of thought, for the fertilizer I was thinking, then I thought, yeah, for the potatoes themselves, I thought, you know, we can get the boxes and tip them in and, you know, really sort of do it as intended, and it's just gone completely wrong. Yeah, you're right there, Ricky. It definitely is part of the fun. Trying to figure these things out. I ain't going to get that out of there now, am I? Because that's fallen the wrong way round. Can I get it? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Maybe if we lower that down, lift that up a little bit. Have we got it? Yeah, we got it. Can I get it out of there now? Yay, we got it out of there as well. They'll make a tractor driver of me yet. Is that over the hopper? Yeah, nearly. That is. Right. Oh, no, we ain't getting out that way. Can we get out this way? Yeah. There we go. Right, let's go and do some there we go. Let's go and do some planting before everyone turns off and thinks I ain't watching this idiot. The Challenger's a little bit unstable with all of this on, isn't it? Right. Thinking mode is going to be turned off now. And we can just get on with it. And just have a drink of me water. Right, let's set this field up. So this is what I mean about what the map maker's done to the soil on this map, because this Challenger should manage this these machines absolutely no problem at all. But because of the way the ground is, it can't manage it, and it's so frustrating. It's not managing too bad there, but it does sink in way too much. Way too much. Probably didn't need markers on this planter, to be fair. There we go. We'll get in the swing of it soon, hopefully. Okay, Ricky, thanks very much. I know you've probably gone by now, but thanks ever so much for joining us, joining me anyway. It's really great to sort of have yourself in the live stream. Right, there we go. We're getting a little bit more into the swing of it now. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Looks alright to me. That's not, to be fair, pre-ridging very well, is it? There's supposed to be a ridge there. There's literally a ridge in the middle, or there's one there, but there's not really one there. But thankfully the potato planter is sorting it out. So not too bad. We'll persevere now. Now that we've got this far, we'll persevere with it. But yeah, it's not gone entirely brilliantly, has it, today? The potato planting part. See, that's another thing, Ploughboy, what we were talking about with giants. As you can see, behind the planter, a few seconds later, the rows then fill themselves in to where they should be. That should be happening sort of almost instantaneously. Not a few seconds after. I think in the end we did actually need a slightly bigger Challenger on the front of this. But there we go. Like I say, we'll persevere with it, I think, this way for this year. But I might change that for future. As far as I can remember, I did hire everything, so we can just send it back, which is cool. Alright, there we go. It wouldn't pick up for some reason. We might need to subsoil those headlands as well before we plant the headlands with potatoes, but at the moment we're not going too badly, but that probably will need doing at the end. There we go, we're getting a little bit more into the swing of it now. Right, I might be able to go back to chatting mode. I can't I just can't believe how much of a disaster all that's been, to be fair. Never mind. These things are sent to try us, and try me they did. But we're still cracking. I would have been better off getting a planter that fixed to the back of the ridger. That's what I would have been a lot better off doing. I kind of sort of... Well, to be fair, I hadn't thought about too much more. I hadn't... what was I trying to say? This morning, when I was sort of planning the stream and planning what I was going to do and what have you, I'd sort of, you know, felt like I'd really thought it through. I mean, I should have tried those mods. I shouldn't have just took it that they were going to work, you know, from the get-go. I should have definitely have tried them out first, but as I say, in terms of the planter and the ridger and everything else, I thought, well, you know, we'll go to as close to real life as what I used to use, you know, because, you know, probably people want to see it, and but yeah, as I say, it couldn't have gone any more disastrously wrong if we tried. But never mind, as I say, we're up and running now, so. One thing I have realised is I haven't done nowhere near a big enough headland. So what I'm going to do is once we get it done, I'm going to power harrow those headlands off, and then I needed to double, basically. I needed to do 8 rather than 4. It's a bit of a shame, but like I say, there's not much I can do about it at the moment. But again, we'll know for the next field to do 8, not 4. In fact, what I could do is, so I don't do the whole field. See, it wanted to do 8, but I didn't think 8 was big enough. But what I'll do is, I will go back and redo that headland, that side, and then the other side, and then like the front bits as well, the actual headlands at the end of the field, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, I've completely messed this up, but it doesn't matter because I've never actually done it this way before. This is a new way for me to do it. Normally I would use the 6 metre ridger. I'd go and ridge all the land, and then I'd go back afterwards and plant all of the land, and sort of I kind of thought, well, it would be quite fun to do the two together, and you know, sort of with the machines that we have available, I thought, you know, we have that capability, so that would be quite cool. But yeah, I'd sort of, and it would have made turning around a lot easier for me as well. Because obviously it gives me a lot more room on the headland. You know, rather than... rather than being so tight. That's a lot better, that is, because as I say, it gives me more time to turn, get in and get set again, going the other way. So yeah, I'm sort of a lot happier with that. A lot happier with that. Yeah, it's a lot better. A lot better. But I guess that's what it's all about, though, really, isn't it? You know, it's about sort of trying new things, and then, as Ricky was saying earlier, you know, problem solving and sort of kind of getting it right. And the difference is obviously, if this had been a normal episode that I was doing, you know, you wouldn't have seen any of this. You would have just got the polished version at the end, you know, which obviously is not how it always goes. And sometimes, you know, I've had people message me and go, I just don't understand how it always goes so perfect for you, but never for me. And I sort of think, yeah, you don't see the bits. You don't see the bits that are not in the video. And that's the truth. You know, sometimes that is like literally the truth. You know, people don't see them sort of bits in videos. You know, they just see the final product. And the final sort of product to what we do to that we put out to what actually goes on while we're recording them is very different. Very different. You know, the amount of as I say, things that just don't go as you would hope. I do always find the side view much easier to kind of get along and get on with. Yeah, I do find the side view, as I say, much easier. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, people don't sort of see the bits where it all goes wrong, and the bits where, you know, sort of like that, you know, where you're trying to sort of figure a mod out or whatever. I've completely done this wrong. Never mind. It's they only ever see the polished, but like I say, we're getting there, and we're figuring it out as we go. We're soon going to need to fill up again, which is pretty amazing. But we seem to be getting into the swing of it a bit more now. Right, we need to go a bit further down this time, because that's the end of our thingy this way. The end of our lands for this side. And then, as I say, what I'll do is probably later on tonight, I'll go back and redo the first headland. And we'll go from there. again, the only reason why I leave such a big land, it just makes it turning a lot easier. You know, you don't want to be turning sharp on yourself with this kit, you know, because that's how, in real life, that's how you start to damage things. And, you know, there's just no need to do it, really. You know, if you can give yourself lots of turning room, it's better for you, it's better for the machinery, and you know, it's just better all round, really. You know, I find. This isn't going too bad now, to be fair. This is going a lot better. Just get out and make sure that it is actually doing what we expect, which it seems to be. Noticed it's a bit patchy over this side. Don't know why, but yeah, it's a bit sort of. Oh, it's just Giants' texture filling in. Because as you run up to it, like, it fills out. So it looks like it hasn't planted anything, but it does actually fill out. Although there, it doesn't look like it's planted anything. Looks as if it's missed a row out completely there, doesn't it? Never mind. As I said, like, you know, this is a completely new way for me to do this. You know, new machines and what have you, and it's just a case of that's why. It's because the track's running on it. So we need to actually get a crawler that's got row crops on it, so that it's not running on the end of the last row. Again, I mean, like I say, you know, at work I used to use the Challenger for doing this job, but it would have been a 6 metre. And I think we're beginning to sort of kind of see why now, because they're just a little bit too wide for the 3 metre. But as I say, we're getting there. We are doing it, and we are getting this field planted. And it isn't going to take too long. So we've got this one to do, and then that one directly behind us to do. We're going to have 2 fields of potatoes, 2 fields of onions, and then 1 carrot, 1 parsnip, and 1 red beet. But as we buy land, obviously, you know, the fields will increase. As we buy the land. The field numbers for each crop will increase, so it won't be so bad. But we are soon going to need to fill up the planter again. I've been driving around sort of the last few days around the local area that I live in, trying to find some real life, you know, sort of not necessarily at this time of year potato planting, but people drilling, you know, sort of spring crops or sugar beet or, you know, stuff like that. But as of yet, I've not been able to find any. although I did get messaged today by a farmer friend who said we're out drilling peas today. So, you know, people are getting started slowly. Slowly but surely, people are getting out there and getting going. But yeah, it's coming around to that sort of time of the year again. And I say, I can't wait to get out and try and see some potato planting going on. That would be pretty cool. Try and get it on video as well, so that you guys get to share it as well, which is cool. Should be able to start going round now. It should be wide enough. Now the reason why I do such a big swing and then turn back like that is by the time everything gets back, it should be in line and you shouldn't get no bends on the end, so it's all in line, you see. So that's why I do a big swing like that. But that's the reason why it's looking like some rows are not been planted and there's been a miss. It's because the track is actually running on the last row, so in real life we'd be crushing potatoes. Thankfully with Farming Sim, that will look okay. We'll be fine. If you do a wide swing and then make it so the tractor has to swing back, you will then have everything in line then for when you set in. So that's actually going to be a bit awkward there, with the fact that the field sort of bends around a little bit, but I'm sure we'll figure that out. What I'll do is I'll run till the planter needs to be filled again, and then I'm going to end the stream there, because I've just got a signal to say that my evening meal is ready. So I'm going to have to run off for my tea. But yeah, it's been really good, apart from the sort of disaster with the potato planter bit, you know, a hour ago or whatever. But otherwise it's been really good. We got the sugar beet over there drilled, and we got it rolled. We got the onions over there rolled, and obviously we're sort of probably getting on towards halfway through this potato field. So next time when you join me, whether it be in a normal episode or whether it be in another live stream, at the very least this field will be done, and then you know, we'll be on to the next field, or I may have got that one done as well, and then we'll be on to planting the veg. So as I say, lots to be getting on with, and then once we've got all of that done, we then need to carry on with building the town. We've got the town to build, sort of over in that direction, and so we need to get on with that. But as I say, I am going to end when we get to this end, so I don't think we'll get round again with the amount of potatoes that we've got. But I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully everyone else has really enjoyed the stream too, and as I say, if ever you do join me on the streams, feel free to say hi, you know, feel free to make you know, sort of discussions and stuff like that. You know, it's always good to, you know, to be able to talk about different things. But as I say, hopefully you've all enjoyed it, and Wednesday, hopefully, fingers crossed, all being well, computer not going wrong, we will be live streaming 1950s Farm on Wednesday. So thanks ever so much for watching, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.